time to rock with the biggity buck bumble. Bum to the bump to the bump to the bass. Bum to the bump to the bump. Bum to the bump to the bump to the bass. Bum to the bump.
How do you not know the words? It's Buck Bumble.
Bump to the bass. Bump to the
It's just bump to the bump to the bump to the bass. Bump to the bump to the bumble. There's no other word.
bump to the boot to the boot to the boot boot. Bump to the bass to the bass bass. Bump to the boot to the boot.
Yeah, but it's even funnier now.
Bump to the
Bump to the bass.
Bump to the bass.
Oh, he's not saying it right now.
I mean,
Dude, wait, it looks really cool with this cutscene.
I know, I was gonna say, it actually goes with the cutscene that's happening right now. I think the Buck Bumble can actually be used over basically any piece of media.
I think you're right.
I mean,
I think I need
put it over Sword Art Online's opening!
Yeah.
I need
no.
to see this!
Oh, but then we'll be able to see
Yeah,
it.
they
I
won't
gotta
be
set
able
it
to
up
see
so we'll capture that window.
Next time.
To the boot to the bump
Wait,
to
what
the
does
bass.
this do?
Bump to the boot to the bump. Bump to the bump to the bump to the bass. Bump to the bump to the bump. Bump to the bump to the bump.
You guys are seeing a black screen, it's because we aren't professional
To the bump to the bump to the
YouTubers.
bass. Bump to the bump to
I
the
won't see it 'cause I gotta hit
bump to the
transition.
bump to the bump to the bass. Bump to the bump to the bump. Bump to the boot to the boot to the boot boot. Bump to the bass to the bass.
Shame you guys can't
Bump to the
see
boot to the boot to
the dance I was
to the
doing.
bass to the bass.
Because Victor made a dance for this song.
Yeah, I made a Buck Bumble dance. Alright, that's just like, okay, never mind. Anyways, I hope you're still enjoying this cutscene because I'm enjoying it greatly with the Buck Bumble song. We're just gonna let the Buck Bumble song play out at this point.
I mean,
It's only been a minute and 30 seconds. Who can, this is entertaining content.
I
Look at this.
literally only learned about
This is fucking cool as
Buck
shit.
Bumble like 4 days ago, and I already love it, so.
I know me and Connor have talked about this song before, but now seeing it with the Neo intro, it's pretty fucking awesome. It's incredible. I hope that you guys have been able to hear anything we've said over the Buck Bumble song, because it's pretty loud in the mix. But
It's
welcome,
alright.
welcome
Even if
back
you
to
didn't
Pick It
hear
Up.
us, I mean, nothing we say is important or interesting, so.
That's true. We're basically just,
just
shouting out how cool the Buck Bumble
A
song
bunch
is.
of dumb facts.
With the Neo intro under it.
Neo. It's Buck Bumble.
It's showtime.
Yes, that was a joke I was making.
Alright, so we're back. That's been like 2 days or something since our
Yeah.
last recording.
It hasn't been very long at all.
Hasn't been very long, so we probably won't do a long session.
Yeah.
But I really want to fight this boss because it's cool.
Victor just
And I
really,
didn't
really
wanna-
excited for boss.
I don't want to get so distant from playing that like I'm not going to be good enough to kill the boss.
Yeah.
I'm already out of ammo.
Uh-oh.
I guess I won't go fight that guy. What am I doing? Let me warm up a little bit by fighting this thing. This is a really hard boss.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun time.
This guy, I like this boss a lot. He's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
he's very artistically dope.
He's a good boy. He's a lightning dog. I like that.
Oh, shit,
All
fuck
dogs are
this
good
up.
dogs.
Yeah. Anywho, so we've got some things to talk about.
Yeah.
Some things that we experienced over the last couple days.
Like waiting 2 hours in patient first for me
Yeah.
to get my hepatitis B vaccine.
Today was fun because we waited for 2 hours in patient first while Hope got our hepatitis B vaccine.
And then we went to an inferior hot dog place.
Yeah, we've talked about this place before, way back on DigiBros, because there's, me and Connor are obsessed with hot dogs. Everyone knows this. We talk about Kevin's Doghouse excessively. But in the time around where we discovered Kevin's Doghouse and we started trying out every hot dog place around Virginia Beach. And we had went into this place called Tony's Hot Dogs that on like Google Maps and stuff. It's always the highest reviewed. People are like, this is the best hot dog place.
Yeah.
And like I've heard about it locally and stuff. So like we went in to try it, and they tell you when you go in that it's cash only.
Correct.
It's like there's two old white dudes running it.
It's like almost like, how there used to be soda jerks that were just behind a bar. It's set up like that. And a guy just goes, "We only serve hot dogs, cash only."
Yes. You walk in, he immediately says, "We only serve hot dogs cash only." And he says it to everyone who walks in because, you can't get anything without cash.
Right.
I died.
You fucking died.
This is going to take a minute because I'm going to have to learn this guy's attacks and everything. But yeah, so it's cash only. So me and Connor before, when we went in, naturally, we just kind of like had a panic attack and left because we were like, what, cash only, what? And then we kind of looked at each other because we were going for lunch and we didn't have cash and we didn't know what to do. And
because, you're younger than 60 and so you don't carry cash.
And we kind of hesitated and looked at each other like, what the fuck? And then the guy was like, oh, there's an ATM up the street. And we were like, oh, yeah, sure. And then we just left and didn't come back because we were like, fuck this.
Fuck you,
it made
dude.
us very uncomfortable. And we were like, we are clearly not welcome here. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to turn the audio up on this so I could hear the boss's
The charge up on his attacks.
charge ups. Yeah. I don't know how well you guys can hear the sound, but like I can't hear the sound at all. So
yeah, we can't hear anything.
I think I just turned the volume on my computer too low. There we go. Now I can hear.
Yeah.
Okay. You kind of need to hear the audio cues for some of this.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah. So we finally went there and tried it after years of
Build
me
up.
not going there because we happened to be passing by it because we had gone to the patient first, which is right next to it.
Yeah.
And so Hope was like, "Oh, I've got cash. We could do it." And then it was just kind of like not the most amazing hot dogs in the world, you know. It pales in comparison to Kevin's Doghouse.
I mean,
like it's not even close.
Yeah, here's the thing: is they literally only have hot dogs, and the hot dogs come with like onions and mustard and chili.
Yeah.
And then like cheese and sauerkraut are extra. And I mean, onions, mustard, and chili is perfect because that's normally what I put on
like
I
that
get
is
on my
the
hot
perfect
dogs.
way
So
to
like
have a hot dog.
that in and of itself is not a problem. That's the ideal way to make a hot dog.
Yeah.
And they have snap dogs, which are great. I love snap dogs,
There's
but they
beef dogs
only
and snap dogs.
have.
First you gotta explain what a snap dog is.
Haven't
I
we
don't know if
talked about it
everyone
on
does.
here before?
Yeah.
Anyone?
I don't know, maybe.
These people have all
You
been
gotta
listening
give
to
a
us for a
refresher.
fucking decade.
Yeah, they've all been to Kevin's
They
Doghouse.
know what a snap dog is.
Yeah.
So the snap dog is basically, it's thinner and like kind of smaller than a normal hot dog, but it has like a little crispy skin that you bite through and
Yeah.
it pops. It's great. It's a nice texture sensation. It's different than your typical hot dog because, you know, the typical hot dog is kind of all one texture.
Yeah.
And the snap dog gives you a little pop. So I love snap dogs. But also the beauty of going to Kevin's Doghouse is in that you can break up the sameness of the snap dogs by getting like a beef dog or a sausage.
Yeah.
This place only has the snap dogs.
Yeah.
So you can only eat the same kind of snap dog, you know.
And like Kevin's
however
Doghouse
many
has barbecue
times.
sandwiches, and they have chicken salad sandwiches. Like there's a few
Yes.
options if you're not in the mood for just a hot dog. You can get a
Right.
hot dog and a barbecue sandwich, and get a nice texture mix up.
Yeah.
You know, have some options.
Exactly. And like, yeah, when you go to Kevin's Doghouse, you have a couple of choices, but all the choices are really good. And I mean, the barbecue at Kevin's Doghouse is great. I didn't.
What the
You
fuck?
got
How did
him.
I beat that guy so fast?
Whoa!
Like it took me a million tries the first time I did
Yeah,
that.
you struggled with him a lot.
They've gotta have nerfed it,
Your
or maybe I'm
first
not
go.
on. Maybe there is a hard mode, because like there's no way I should have beat that guy so fast. Is there a hard mode in this game? I gotta wonder. Just gonna look for hard mode. Like I sat down here with the intention that this whole episode would be
It
fighting
was gonna
that
be
guy,
you fighting this boy.
and we beat him within 3 minutes. That was really fast.
That was very extremely fast. I'm actually quite surprised.
Individual game settings. Strange. What the fuck does all this mean?
I have no idea.
Oh my god, there's so many settings in this fucking shit. God, maybe there isn't a hard mode. What the
Maybe
fuck?
you're just really good at the
They
game.
nerfed the game? There's no way. It took me so many tries to beat that guy before. Like, I do kind of remember his attacks and I know how to dodge them, but, like, that was really hard for me. I mean, I put on the lightning-resistant armor. That helps. But, like,
Yeah.
I crushed that guy just now.
I think that was maybe like two or three attempts at most.
I really destroyed him. That was not a very long fight. I don't know. Like, I think you do fight him again, but, like... Ah, that sucks. I was ready to fight this guy for a million years. Look at that fucking goofy-ass yokai.
Yes.
I'm taking a swig.
Bray.
So, yeah, anyways, we went to the inferior doghouse.
Yeah. Anyway, like I was saying,
Which, like-
I learned to love coleslaw at Kevin's Doghouse.
Yeah,
Like, Kevin's Doghouse
slaw's great.
has
Gotta get that
exceptional
slaw.
food.
I have to make this gesture at that guy.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember this.
I want to make sure I get these chests before I...
Yeah. And the other thing about this place is the atmosphere is, like, it's a small place. I mean, which is like the doghouse. That's fine. It's got the two, like, older white dudes running the stuff behind the counter.
Yeah.
And then Fox News is on.
Yes.
No music, just Fox News.
Which, like, is the point. Like, you can tell walking in here, like, the whole thing, they have this limited menu and everything, but, like, that's obviously the point, and that's
Yeah.
fine, you know? Like, I'm fine with this place existing, because it's kind of like, it's very obviously catering to a certain demographic, and like they're not trying to appeal to everyone, you know?
Yeah.
Where like, yeah, it's only got one thing on the menu. It's stubborn. You have to pay cash. Like everything about it is stubbornness.
It's difficult.
And like the guys in there are these stubborn old white dudes, and it's like this is a place for stubborn old guys.
Yes.
That is their appeal. And they're like, if you don't abide by our rules, you can get the fuck out.
Yep.
And like the people who shop there, they are about that life. That's what they want.
Exactly.
I like how that guy is kind of like a mid boss to the rest of this dungeon.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Just crazy. I can't believe I beat him so fast.
You did
like
fucking absolutely
I'm in shock. I wasn't
destroy.
ready to play more of this.
You searched and destroyed.
Now I gotta go through this shit, and then I have to fight another hard boss at the end of this.
Oh. But, yeah, that as compared to Kevin's Doghouse, where you have, like, you have the cheesy, classic rock and roll.
Yeah.
But,
it's still the same kind of place. It's a classic rock place, you
but
know.
I feel like,
it still has a very
you know,
small menu, and there's obviously the right way to eat the hot dog, you
right.
know. They're
But
not
then, like,
putting it in your face.
The people that are in there are just, like, your working man.
Yeah.
You know? It's not, like, the people that were in Tony's are people who are retired.
Yeah.
And then the people who were at Kevin's Doghouse are, like, the working Joe.
Mm-hmm. Just had a certain aesthetic to it.
Yeah.
Which is fine, you know. There's a place for that in the world. It's obviously doing really well, you know. It's locally famous. It's fulfilling its role, and it doesn't want to appeal to more people. It wants to stay with the same crowd it's always had, and then once the guys who own it die, it wants
It'll
to
be
disappear,
gone.
you know?
Yeah. It just makes you wonder, like, why is this the top-rated hot dog place
Because of the exclusivity.
Area?
You
Yeah,
know?
it's gotta be because people feel special going there.
Well, and it's also, why would they have that kind of exclusivity if it weren't the best?
Of course.
Like, you project it being the best onto it because it's exclusive, and because it says, like, their slogan is, like,
often imitated, never
often
duplicated.
imitated, never duplicated. So it's like they're acting as though they are the best, and like they have the confidence as if they were the best. So they are the best, you know.
Obviously.
That's all it takes to be the best, is to act like you are. And because most people aren't going to every hot dog place and comparing the hot dogs like I might do, you know.
Yeah, that's also true.
Like we do.
I don't know, man. Just nothing beats going and seeing Miss Doghouse and her awkward son and Mr. Doghouse.
Mrs. Doghouse is the superior doghouser.
This is true.
Hua.
Miss Doghouse also takes her pets to the hospital, the veterinary hospital I work at. So there's that.
I always forget about that.
Yeah,
I always forget that you're like right there in town center.
exactly.
I saw it the other day passing through the place. I was like, oh, there it is. I've never like looked at it.
There he is.
Let me make sure we're still recording. Yeah, we're recording. Everything's good. Everything's peachy keen.
Got him.
Look at my fucking samurai stance. Look at that wacky man with this
Nihongo
pointy
no
hat.
man. It's true.
I'm getting through this game too fast, man. People are going to start to think that this isn't a difficult game.
Yeah, they're gonna think it's an easy game. It's not the fact that you've just played 80 hours of it.
Yeah, and I have played it quite a bit.
And also, you know, the further in you get, the harder it becomes.
I mean, you're talking, but all I'm hearing is bump to the bump to the bump to the bass, bump to the bumble, bump to the bump to the bump to the bass, bump to the bump to the bumble.
Yes.
Last
Last night, I was printing something out from Victor's computer, and he was in the other room. And I just started playing the Buck Bumble theme from his computer.
Yeah.
And for like a good minute and a half, Victor just sat there and didn't say anything to me and didn't acknowledge it. And he was just like, oh, it was already stuck in my head, so I didn't realize you were playing it in real life.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
I
Jesus.
just didn't even acknowledge the playing of Buck Bumble because it's become part of our life in the last 2 days. I'm just now realizing that the optimal way to beat those stone guys is to use elements because they're weak to the elemental powers and not the physical hits. Amazing.
There you go.
All this time I've just been trying to cheese them. All I needed to do is enchant my weapons with fire and do twice the amount of damage. Or, you know, that's why you kind of gotta, like... It makes it seem like you kind of have to spec your guy into like strength or ninjutsu or magic, but kind of the best way to play it is to use all three,
Neutral.
like in light conjunction, you know.
Yeah.
Because, like, you want to have your fire elemental charms and stuff that you can, like, equip and be able to use those without draining resources.
I
This place is
remember
fucking
this
cool.
place.
Yeah, you got all these statues and you don't know which ones are going to hit you.
It's pretty cool. I mean, it's the
Yeah.
same theory as,
You got scary
you know,
fucking swordmen walking around. and
spooky
shit.
houses where they have a bunch of mannequins and you don't know which one is an actual guy.
Yeah. Let's just fuck this dude up real quick.
Jesus. Oh, yeah, these big, scary Onis.
So guys, if you don't know how the super moves work in this game, basically it gives you a meter, and that meter is both the amount of super move you have left and your health for the super move. Or basically, like, it's constantly draining, but if you get hit, the meter drains faster.
Yeah.
So, like, it does make you invincible while you're using it, but if you get hit while you're using it, it's going to drain too fast, and then you're going to be open for more attacks. So you can't just, like, go ham and spam a bunch of shit, because then you're going to end up getting hit, you're going to lose your meter, and you're going to die. Just wanted to make it clear for anyone who's actually paying attention to the game and wasn't sure how that worked. Because it looks like I just turn it on and then go fucking ham. But it's
Yeah.
like, you can get punished for going too ham.
Go ham.
It's like Dark Souls, you put little, you know, fire elements on your weapon, except there's a lot more elements in this game. And, like, it'll actually matter sometimes because the enemies will have different sort of attributes. Whereas in Dark Souls, you pretty much just put fire or lightning on your shit and you're gonna beat everyone in the game. Let me fight this guy while I have fire on my thing.
Ooh.
You can kind of tell which ones are gonna hit you because they're a little lighter color.
They look a little bit different, yeah. Well, if there's no tell, then it's not fair.
Yeah, then it sucks.
You know, you gotta be able to tell if you're paying attention.
I need to equip a bow and shoot that guy up there. I don't have a bow on, I have a cannon. Oh, I sold my bow. Never mind. I don't have a bow anymore. Between episodes, I've been going and selling shit. Anyways, so I guess that's enough
Bows
of
are the gay man's
hot dog
weapon.
story. So we watched some things yesterday.
Which thing?
We watched a couple things. We watched the third
Victor,
Godzilla
hentai
movie.
doesn't count.
Yeah. We didn't watch any hentai yesterday. Jeez, Hope, derailing me with your comments about hentai
I'm
that
sorry,
we didn't
I
even
was
watch.
just trying to meme.
I know, I love you.
I love you.
But we watched the third Netflix Godzilla movie,
Yeah.
which actually turned out to be pretty cool.
It's pretty neat,
I was
considering I slept through
surprised.
the first two.
Yeah, because like the first one, well, you didn't even watch the second one with me. I watched.
I
it
fell
without
asleep
you.
through all of the second one, basically.
No, you weren't there for the second one.
No.
You fell asleep through the first one. I watched the second one without you.
Did you?
Yeah,
I
I
thought I
did.
slept through it.
Nah, we watched the first one together, and you fell asleep pretty early on, but it wasn't worth watching. And so, like, when the second one came out, I was like, oh, well, Hope's not going to be interested in this. She didn't even see the first one. And I ended up just watching it while you weren't home, I think.
I thought
And
I
it
was home and I just slept.
Nah, because I summarized it for you later, I think.
You did.
Yeah.
But I think
and I
it's
talked about
because
it
I was
on,
asleep.
on here, because I had the crazy Mechagodzilla shit, where Mechagodzilla turned out to be a city, because Mechagodzilla had been, his nanometals had been alive for 10,000 years, constantly expanding, and so he became an entire city complex that was supposed to be the last bastion for humanity.
It's pretty good.
All this ridiculous shit, and then the bad guys, or the one race of dudes fuses with the Mechagodzilla, because it's like, it's fucking ridiculous.
Damn, that Kappa. Fucking merciless.
Yeah, he kind of backstabbed me and ran away. And so now he's going to try to fucking run me into this guy,
Oh, yeah.
so that I'll not pay attention and get my ass kicked.
What a tool.
Oof.
What a chuckle fuck.
A chuckle fuck.
Yeah.
Nice. Huh. But
So
anywho,
anyway,
so
I
we
slept
watched the third
through
movie.
both Godzilla movies.
Yeah,
or
Hope didn't see
something
the
to that
first
effect.
two. We went to the third one. And I would say even without knowing what the fuck's going on, it's an enjoyable movie, right?
Yeah, it's
Because, like, you don't
interesting.
really need to know the whole backstory.
Because they start you off right in the middle of the shit. And so
Yeah.
you're just like, cool. If you've ever seen an anime, you can just pick up the third movie and be like, it's anime, yeah.
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
what's happening
and
here.
you get the most interesting part of the plot. Because, like, they had been building on the stuff with, like, the religion and everything, like, the whole time throughout these movies. But, like, the third one actually delivers on all of the shit it's been building up to, and it does it in a pretty satisfying way.
Yeah.
And it kind of gets into, like, a really Lovecraftian
It's very
sort
cool.
of Cthulhu horror shit going on, which is pretty fucking neat.
I'm definitely a sucker for those, like, weird dystopian religion kind of plots.
Yeah, cult
Just because
religions.
of the way I grew up.
Yes, growing up in religion.
Growing up fucking steeped in religion makes me really appreciate and find it to be very interesting,
Yeah.
these, like, cult He's neat.
And it's very literally like an H.P. Lovecraft cult.
Oh, yeah.
Getting into spoiler territory.
Oh, yeah. Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
Tune
spoiler
out now
alert.
if you don't want to know what happens in Godzilla 3, the Godzilla ing.
Yeah. But you'll
2.
probably want to watch it more knowing what happens, you know?
Yeah.
Like, going from the first one, like, if you wanted to watch all 3, I would say it's better to know that it gets good than to, like, go into it and watch the first one and be like, this is gay.
Yeah.
Because that one definitely seemed like, well, I don't know where the fuck this is going. This is stupid. But basically what it turns out in the end that, at least according to this religious cult that's been kind of behind the scenes the whole time, like, the meaning of the universe and the purpose of life is for, like, every planet with life eventually goes down the cycle where, like, the races evolve into the point where they're like humans, and then the humans evolve their technology to a point where they end up creating Godzilla.
Yes.
Because Godzilla is created from, like, the progression of technology and, like, the nuclear wars and stuff, and, like, he is a nuclear monster created of nuclear energy.
Right.
So,
and
like,
the theory is that, like, Godzilla only exists because humans exist to fear him and call him a monster and, like, create him, you know?
Yeah, humans have to create him.
That's what makes Godzilla Godzilla.
But
if humans
is-
weren't there,
yeah.
that wouldn't be the case.
And he's, like, the apex predator created by technology, you know?
Yes.
He is a result of the progression of technology, and according to the movie, he is an inevitable result of the progression of technology.
Yes, of the
like, no
cycle
matter what,
of humanity
Yeah.
or any civilization.
the progression of
evolving.
civilization, and no matter what, will end up creating a monster that is Godzilla, you know? Whether it's looks like Godzilla or not, like, they'll eventually create a monster that destroys them all and is made of, like, an infinite fucking power source. And then King Ghidorah is a fifth-dimensional monster that exists, like, the cult is able to summon it into our dimension so that it can feed on Godzilla.
Yes.
So all of society, every society in the universe is created so that they will get to the point where they create Godzilla so that King Ghidorah can be summoned to eat it, and that's how it lives.
Yes.
Because it's feeding off the energy of Godzilla's. So, like, pretty fucking cool.
Pretty neat. Also, the way they represent King Ghidorah is very cool.
Yeah, he's
and the
very
way they summon
interesting.
him is very cool.
Yeah. Through, like, this crazy ritual and, like, all these sacrifices and shit.
Yeah.
But, like, basically, the entire meaning of our dimensional universe is to cultivate
feed
monsters to feed King Ghidorah. At least that is how this religion has come to understand the universe. Because supposedly, like, the ancient alien race of people that this cultist guy belongs to, like, they had become the most advanced society in the universe, and they were able to witness the future. They were able to read the future to the point where they realized that there's an inevitable death of the universe and nothing matters. So, through that realization, they realized the only purpose of their existence is to feed the monsters of the next dimension. Which is incredible.
you know.
Fucking cool as shit. And it's like, what happens in the movie doesn't even matter. The concepts are what you're there for.
Yeah.
Like, those ideas are fucking cool. Because half the movie is just, like, exposition and, like, there's, like, 40 minutes where you're watching King Ghidorah eat Godzilla and, like,
Yeah.
nothing's really happening beyond
It's
the
just
humans.
King Ghidorah
like,
biting Godzilla as he kind of stands there
Yes.
and moves very slowly.
And then the main character is, like, going through a trippy fucking dimensional vision and being talked to, and like, all the cool, like,
Right.
themes of the story are coming out, which is a really great stuff, but it's intercut with, like, the normal humans just kind of being dumbasses being like,
oh, we can't find King Ghidorah's readings on our
Yeah.
fucking SPO2 monitors.
it's just a bunch of people going, what the fuck is going on? I have
Whoa.
no fucking idea
This
what's
is
happening.
insane.
Which is really pointless. But the
mean,
main
also-
character gets to fuck a woodland
yeah,
girl,
he
so
fucks
that's cool.
the alien girl.
He fucks a native Earthian, which is pretty cool.
who also has an identical twin sister.
Yes, which is a lot of
Which
fun.
is
Because first her
interesting.
identical twin sister tries to fuck the main guy.
Yeah,
But then later
and
he
he's like,
wakes
"Nah."
up next to the other one, who is the one who saved him originally, and it turns out that she had already fucked him while he was unconscious, I guess.
She
had,
knew how to take his
Yeah.
spacesuit off.
She had rubbed up against his naked body, and so he was like, okay, I might as well fuck you since you want to fuck me now. So he ends up fucking the other sister and impregnating her. Which is great. Won't spoil the ultimate end of the movie. Not that it even matters, but the King
Right.
Ghidorah shit was really cool.
The King Ghidorah shit's quite entertaining.
It was a really nice, new interpretation of, like, the Godzilla stuff. Which is, like, what was refreshing about the whole series. That it's, like, fucking Urobuchi Gens insane take
Yeah,
on
his
Godzilla
weird metaphysical
lore and
Godzilla
mythos,
fan fiction.
which is pretty cool. You know, it came out. It's a really unique story.
Yeah, it's a very different take on Godzilla, which is cool.
And it's kind of like the ultimate end of timeline scenario.
Right, because
What am I doing? I'm fucking running around this
ultimately,
labyrinth.
humanity seeks destruction of itself.
Yes, but then of course it's like every anime where the message in the end is like, we have to stop creating technology and just live.
We need
like
to go back to the Stone Age. Stop it.
Yeah, we gotta go back to the Stone Age, or we're gonna inevitably destroy ourselves.
Right.
And that's kind of the message in the end.
Yeah.
Even though I have some problems with that because like part of the main character's realization, it seemed like, was like, I can break this cycle. It doesn't have to be this way. We don't have to beat King Ghidorah. But then his way of breaking the cycle was to, like, lay low and kind of let them win, you know?
Yep.
It's not like Gurren Lagann where they transcend and go, no, we can beat the fifth dimensional beings. Fuck it. We're the best. We're humanity. We're not going to live under your rules. It's just kind of like, no, we have to give up.
He's
We're
right,
dead.
though.
Yeah. It is more realistic, where it's like, if we continue the cycle, we're just gonna die. I scared the guys away with my bomb. They get scared if you attack them.
Yeah.
And they run away.
Well, why would you attack them?
But yeah, so Godzilla, like, the second movie got pretty cool. Like, it starts off like, here we go, more cringy shit, and then the concepts get so insane that you're like, alright, that was worth it. That was pretty cool. This one did the same thing, where it was like, I'd say it starts off more interesting faster, and it just fucking is insane and ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it kind of, it scratches that itch that, like, you don't get these days, where it's like that 90s anime, like, trippy, Ava style, like...
Yeah, very heady,
Yeah,
very
heady,
philosophical
trippy,
shit,
philosophical.
and you're like, whoa.
There's just not a lot that scratches that itch these days.
Yeah.
Now I have to protect this fucking girl while I go through this room.
Because nowadays, all anime is just, is it wrong to fuck my sister in an alternate dimension bounce house rhapsody? Or
If
some
my mom is a
fucking
cat
stupid
in
shit.
a parallel world,
Mom's a
is
cat.
is it bestiality?
Right.
If I fuck my mom in a parallel world and she's shaped like a cat, am I gay?
Yes. Am I gay? Precisely.
There you go. If I hit him in the back, I get him pretty good.
Oh,
We're a team.
got him.
I've got a girl on my side.
Whoa. I have the power of God and a girl on my side.
Yep. True. I have the power of God. Anyway, so Godzilla is pretty cool. What else did we watch?
Hentai?
Yes, we watched hentai. Apparently, we watched lots of hentai. I mean, we haven't watched it. We could fucking talk about it. We could recommend some hentais for these people if
No,
they
I
need
can't.
them. I mean, you can.
I mean, but
There's no reason
should you
can't.
though?
I mean, should you? I don't know.
But am I gonna?
But am I gonna? Just depends on what you're into.
Yeah, I mean, it's too subjective.
If you're progressively minded as we are. if you're real open minded.
Very progressive.
Yes.
You're just letting this girl get murdered, dude.
Nah, I'm helping.
Oh,
Look
okay.
at that, she's strong as shit. She's fucking this guy up with their lightning sword. Some fucked up bullshit. I don't have a fucking lightning sword. I've got tonfas. I made of
Do you
wood.
have lightning tonfas?
I have rosewood tonfas.
I mean, I guess that's about the same.
Anyways, what
Well,
else did we watch?
We're 29 minutes in. Do you want to parse this out, or do you
I
want
mean,
to
do you
keep
think?
going?
I don't think we're gonna fill another episode. I figure
Yeah,
we just.
I
I'm at a
think-
boss here. Might as well do like a longer episode, and then we'll just be done. You know, because that's all we have to talk about.
You'll get this will just be a big bonus episode, and you can deal with it. Anyway, so we then finally freed ourselves from the curse of Voltron.
Yes, we finished Voltron.
We're
Voltron
released.
is over. It's taken us like a month or two to watch the last season of Voltron because I fall asleep every time.
Yup.
No matter what.
Don't lay down and watch Voltron
Yeah,
because you'll
don't
fall
lay down and
asleep.
watch Voltron. If you're laying down and you watch Voltron, you're gonna pass the fuck out.
You're done.
Because it's the most boring show ever made. Because of its a lullaby soundtrack that wants to fucking kill you.
Yes.
It's literally
The
made with
soundtrack's
the intention
lulling.
of putting you to sleep. Because, guys, only the worthy get to witness the true ending of
You
Voltron.
gotta earn what happens at the end of Voltron, dude.
You have to earn the twist at the end of Voltron,
You gotta prove
okay?
you're fucking worthy to see the end of Voltron.
Only the elite get to see.
So what builds up? You know what happens in the final season of Voltron?
Dude, I don't fucking even know. It's like they beat Prince Lotor, who was like the coolest villain.
They did that a long time ago. They did that in like season 6.
Well, this was kind of a 2-part season, kind of.
No, this was season 8.
Yeah, but season 7 was basically the same thing that happened in season 8. Like it's all been a continuation since they beat Lotor.
Yeah.
Because they fight Lotor in another dimension.
Yes.
And then they come out, and all this time has passed. And then the lady who's the evil queen starts her plan to fucking fuck up the universe.
Minerva or Minerva
yes,
or
Minerva
whatever
Zabi,
the fuck her name is.
A bastardization of Minerva Zabi.
Yeah.
Decides to fuck up the world.
Yes. Minerva Zabi.
And so like the whole season they're after this bitch. And it turns out her ultimate goal is to open up a parallel reality where everything worked out for her and her family, and then go there and take the place of her because she's dead in that world.
Yes.
And they go through all this stupid bullshit. It sucks. I don't want to talk about what actually happened. I just want to talk about the end. Like, it's so incomprehensible what actually... They go through it...
No one but us watched this season of Voltron. If we don't tell people what happened, no one's gonna ever know.
That's true.
It'll be Schrodinger's ending. It'll simultaneously exist and not exist because no one else knows about it.
But, guys, you have to trust me on this, where, like... If I just describe to you the plot, it might sound cool, but you have to trust me in that it's awful. It's not
absolutely
good.
Boring
it's
and
the
horrible.
Dumbest shit ever. Because, like, what they do over the course of the last few episodes, like, fucking Princess Allura she takes on an orb of light called the Entity into her body, which is like some sort of
ancient power that's been around since the beginning of time.
Ancient power that is fused with Minerva, the bad guy. And Princess Allura takes this into her body so that she can go through it into Minerva's mind.
Oh wait, we didn't talk about Allura and Lance. That's important.
That doesn't matter.
Yes,
This doesn't.
it does.
Like, come on, I'm on a tear about the plot. We can get
Okay.
we'll get back to it.
All right.
It's hard for me to describe these things.
I love you.
I love you too. Anyways, all right. So fucking Lance and Allura get together. If they already haven't seen the scene, they don't know who the fuck Lance even is.
Yeah, but like but it's so good. It's so bad.
Fucking awful. It's just
so
the worst
unnecessary
shit that's ever happened in the fucking
and has
show.
no emotional payoff.
Like there's one of the characters is Lance, and he's like the goofiest boy, and like his whole thing is that he's kind of like
kind of a little shit,
almost the goofy kind of womanizer character in the beginning, where like he's just
except that women aren't interested in him at all.
He wants to fuck the maid princess because she's a girl and because he's a horny bastard. And then, like, the whole time, the whole show, they have, like, the meme of, like, oh, he likes her, but she obviously doesn't even think about him at all. Yes. And, like, it built up with, like, oh, they had the relationship between her and Prince Zuko. And it seemed like he was going to get with him. So I was like, oh, no, that's bad for Lance. But, like, over this entire show, Princess Allura has never expressed any affection for him at all.
She hardly acknowledges he exists.
Yeah, hardly knows he exists. And then at some point in the last season, he just kind of asks her out, and she says yes.
So
and then they just
Hunk is
are
just
a
like,
couple.
oh, you gotta ask her out, and he's like, okay, and he asks her out, and she's just like, sure.
Yeah, she's like,
why not?
Sure.
She's
Don't
not
learn
like
anything.
excited or anything. She's just like, what do I have to lose?
Yeah.
Sure.
And so for the whole last season, they just are a couple now.
Yep.
And they
and they have the most completely void of emotion cuddle that I've ever seen in my life.
Yes. They're just awful. They have no chemistry together. Their entire relationship is just going like, I'm in love with you because I'm in love with you. There's no depth or meaning here at all. None of this doesn't matter. This is stupid. It doesn't make any sense. But it sure is fucking forced on you, and it's super awkward and clunky, like every relationship in that fucking show.
It's so good.
And it's just unearned. It's a perfect representation of everything that happens at the end of the show, which is like good in concept, but completely unearned and absolutely hollow, and you feel nothing while you watch it. Because this whole time, like, at some point after season 2, the characters were fully developed, and then after that, they were just boring for the rest of the run of the show. Like, there was nothing left to do with them. So they just stand around, and they all have interchangeable personalities because they're boring, and they have the same opinion about everything, which is, I'm a good guy. And, like,
I'm a good boy.
You could have all of their dialogue condensed into 1 or 2 characters, and it wouldn't make a difference. Any line anyone says, it doesn't matter who says it, because they all are the same.
The only variance is that, like, Hunk and Pidge are pretty technologically savvy.
Yeah.
And Lance and Keith are less so. And so anything that's, like, tech savvy probably came from those 2 characters.
Yeah,
and anything that's
exposition.
more battle directed probably came from Keith or Shiro. And that's the only difference.
It's just
Hunk just
so
likes
dumb.
food.
Yeah,
and that's
Hunk likes
his special
food.
character
Wow.
trait.
Hunk will say a funny thing now and then.
He is the goof man.
He's a goofy boy.
He is the comic relief because he is chubby.
And it's just fucking sad and boring and dumb.
But
and so, like,
Shiro does win an arm wrestling match because someone
Yes.
called him old.
someone calls Shiro old, so he gets in an arm wrestling competition. That was a highlight of the end of the show, was like they go to a carnival so that you could have one last ditch effort to like
To be like, wow,
humanize
aren't
them
these
again.
characters fun?
And then you're just like, why couldn't they have more of this inappropriate times? It's always at a really inappropriate time in the plot when they decide to have fun
Because
with the characters.
Voltron is full of fucking tonal whiplash.
Yes.
It's like one episode they're at a carnival having a good time, and the next episode they're dealing with like being in Minerva's brain, fighting the former paladins and having this big
Yeah.
like moral showdown, and you're like, ugh, like whoa.
Because like you can make an argument that their goal with that is to mix it up so you're not just getting like heavy episode, heavy episode, heavy episode. But like the way that they do it just ends up feeling really stupid because they don't transition between
Yeah,
them
there's
well
no
at all.
transition period. It's literally just like you're here, and you're like, "But okay, fine."
It's just dumb and bad. But anyways,
not good.
back to the plot of the end of the show. They go through this spiritual entity into Minerva's mind,
Yes.
and then they like experience her memories, and they find that the former paladins of Voltron that were imprisoned, like they've been imprisoned in her mind for 1,000 years or something, and all
Yes.
of everyone's still there. Allura's dad is there and shit. Everyone's having a big, happy, fun time. They go through all this shit, and then, like, they locate her somehow through the channeling of her mind, and then they go fight her, and then she opens up a portal to another reality, and they go to the other reality, and then, like, she very quickly, in, like, a 3-minute scene, like, takes over where her dead self in the other reality was,
Yes.
gets with her husband and her son realizes that she's not the right
Yeah,
one.
she's like not the
Yeah,
not
that
the
she's
real
not who she
Minerva
is.
of that dimension.
And then, like, she's basically kicked out, and Voltron shows up out of nowhere after following
Well, it's
them
because
to the
after her son
realities.
rejects her, she's like, if I can't be happy in this reality, then there won't be any realities. I'm gonna destroy all of them.
Yes.
And you're like, okay, sure.
And then, like, Voltron, because, like, there was already the, like, Ginga fucking Mega Voltron.
Yes. The Atlas turns into
Yeah,
a big robot.
They had a big spaceship that turned into a giant robot, like in Gurren Lagann, but then the spaceship was dumb.
Yep.
So then Voltron fuses with the spaceship to become another Mega Voltron.
This one has high heels.
Yes, with high heels.
It's like
which
a
would have been
Gundam.
really cool
It's a
if the show
Gundam.
didn't suck, you know? Because they'll make all these references to Gurren Lagann and Gundam and stuff in
Literally,
Macross.
a
and
robot
be like,
has a giant drill in one of those scenes.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And it's like they try to make all these
and
references,
the
but
robots
it's
have
like,
the faces on their chest. So
yeah.
it's pretty obviously highly derivative of Gurren Lagann.
Definitely. Well, it's highly inspired, you know?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's a
Not
derivative.
derivative.
It's
highly
inspired by
inspired
Gurren
by Gurren Lagann and Gundam and things like that.
But it doesn't get right any of the things that those things do right. It just kind of sucks.
Exactly.
And then it's like, but they beat her in the end by turning her into a nice guy.
Like
Like,
literally,
okay, they go through, they come out of the reality, and they go into this space where all of the realities
It's
are.
the beginning of all space
Yeah,
and time.
the beginning of all space and time, and there's like a giant white light, and then from that light there's like tentacles of light stretching out, and those are the realities.
Threads
Yeah.
of space time. One
Threads
could
of
say.
space time. But there's like 30 of them
Yeah.
at most.
There's
you
not
know?
a lot. It's like a
It's
couple.
not represented like this is the infinite number of possible realities, which in the show they have canonically said, oh, there's a billion, trillion, infinite amount of realities and stuff. And then they go in there and it's like 30 reality strands. Like, what the fuck sense does that make?
It's hard to draw like 10 billion streams of light, you know?
And so Minerva destroys every reality except for the one where they were from, naturally. Because somehow she knew.
Yeah, she
Like,
can tell.
I don't know how she can tell which realities to destroy. But she destroys all the realities. But then they push her into, like, the beginning life force of the start of time. Which is the collective consciousness, like, the collective energy of the entire universe.
Because the big robot then turns into just a big, like, jetpack.
Yeah.
And just pushes her into the beginning of life.
Yeah,
and
they
time.
power up so hard that they turn into a big jetpack and push her into the beginning of time. And it's like, they're in there and they're like, this is the collective consciousness, but they're talking to her in a physical form.
Yeah, it's all the
paladins.
paladins.
And she is not part of this collective consciousness.
Talking to Minerva.
And then they just kind of go like, look, you did bad things. And she's like, oh yeah, I was really bad, I'm sorry. And then Allura's like, oh, in order to like...
Restore all the parallel realities.
Is that what she... I didn't realize that she restored all the parallel realities.
Yes, they restored all the realities.
So yeah, in order to restore all the realities, Allura has to sacrifice herself, so she dies in the end. And
because
it's like,
Allura
oh,
knows
great.
how to convert bad quintessence into good quintessence.
Yes.
But she needs Minerva's help to have enough energy to reconvert all the quintessence and restore all of the realities.
Yeah.
So...
Like you do.
Allura is like, oh, well, I guess I gotta fucking die. And so then she has to have a little character moment with all of the paladins. And you're just like, yeah, okay.
And it's boring and dumb because you don't care. And Allura's the worst character ever fucking
Victor
written.
really hates Allura.
Allura fucking sucks. She's so bland
They don't
and
do
boring
anything
and dumb.
to make her interesting.
I
or
hated her
good.
from the first episode to the last episode.
That's
I did
true.
not care about her. Like, she was always boring. Never did anything cool.
Yeah, and of course, right before she dies, she says goodbye to Lance last, and they're like, oh, I love you, bro. And then they kiss, and then she's like, all right, bye.
And it's stiff and
she
dumb.
goes and she fucking dies.
But anyways, so the real appeal of the show, because it gives you the ending. It goes, 1 year later, like, let's see what everyone's doing.
Yeah, like, oh, what's everybody up to?
And they're kind of, doing whatever obvious things that, of course, they were doing.
Yeah.
And then
like, they all meet up on fucking Allura Day when everyone's celebrating
National Allura Day.
And they've made this big statue to her, and everyone's like, oh, praise be to Allura, our new god.
Yes. And then it's like, it goes into the ending credits and it's showing what everyone's doing. This is
the
where
best.
it gets good.
Yes.
This is where it gets good. It's showing what everyone's doing. It goes to Hunk. He always wanted to be a chef, so it shows him and he's like, it's like 10 years later and he's like a buff master chef and he's like doing all this cool stuff. You're like, yeah, Hunk, he became a chef.
He became like a fucking Iron Chef.
Yeah, and then it shows Pidge, and Pidge was always a scientist, and so she looks like a badass scientist. She's doing all this, she's building Gundams and shit. And you're like, oh, dude, cool.
All right,
Pidge
great.
became a scientist, building Gundams. It shows Lance, and he's like on a farm with his family, and he's just like all.
To be
being
fair, it's
peaceful
not
and
his
sad.
family. It's just a family because he didn't move on from Allura because he's a soy boy.
Well, I think it was like his, his extended family.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, all right, he stayed with his family, whatever, cool. And then,
Wait, you forgot Keith, who's doing like
Keith,
humanitarian aid.
He's obviously off with this group of like bounty hunter guys, like saving the universe and being humanitarian and stopping war.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, cool.
Nice.
And then it gets to Shiro, and it opens up, and there's Shiro, and he's wearing a tuxedo, a white tuxedo, and next to him,
what's going on?
Is a guy who's also wearing a white tuxedo.
No, he's wearing a black tuxedo.
No, he's wearing white.
Right?
They're both wearing white tuxedos.
White?
Yes, they're both wearing white
I thought
tuxedos.
he was wearing a black tuxedo.
And they're walking down, and they're holding hands, and you're like, what? Who's this guy Shiro's holding hands with in a white tuxedo? And then they kiss. And that's the end of the show. That's the last thing.
Everybody goes on to do all these great things, and Shiro just gets gay married. That's his big accomplishment.
That's the end of Voltron.
He gets gay married, and he gets to kiss his fucking husband, and that's his big accomplishment.
Hunk
Good
is
job.
a chef. Everyone accomplished their dreams. and Shiro accomplished his dream of marrying a man.
Of being a big gay. He did it.
I'm so glad I sat through 8 seasons of this fucking show.
To be fair, the reaction that we had when that happened was just screaming.
Just screaming.
Just screaming.
Just
for like
went
2
fucking
minutes.
Nuts. It was amazing because it comes out of fucking nowhere.
It was so unexpected. I was not ready at all. I figured, like, Shiro would be the commander of like some big armada or something. He's teaching the future military, how to be successful and leading.
He's got to be the president of Earth,
He's
something
just
like
a big gay.
He's
That's
just
his accomplishment.
Gay. His life accomplishment is that he is gay. Fascinating.
Oh, man.
It's the perfect example of shoehorning gayness into a show.
And he's got a big robot arm, and that's his accomplishment.
There's nothing he does over the course of the show that alludes to him being gay. He's never in a gay relationship in the show. The guy who he marries is not a character ever in the show. But he is
black, so...
Yes, but he was black, so...
That's good.
It's great.
Very progressive.
He, had dark skin, but just a normal dude hair, like any anime guy hair.
Yeah, he had, anime boy hair, so...
That always bothers me in the show, too, when it, has characters with dark skin, but then they don't...
And then they have anime boy hair, and you're like,
normal,
okay.
Random, generic anime boy hair, and you're like, why not go,
They did. So here's the thing. Some of the characters in the show that are dark-skinned do have, accurate hair. And then some of them have anime boy hair. So I don't know how they decide.
That's fine, but...
See, here's the thing, though.
It doesn't feel like you're representing anything.
Because after this happened, I did some research. And apparently when Season 7 came out, the showrunners did state that Shiro was gay. And there is an episode in Season 7 that covers Shiro's backstory, where he has, a very close male friend.
Uh-huh.
But it's not like, it's not like it is his boyfriend. It's just a friend that he seems very close to.
The Voltron throughout the entire show, it's, the most sexless show ever made. It really goes out of its way to not portray any women sexually or have them wear cute outfits or anything.
Yes.
Everything is always bland.
They have to wear the blandest, most fucking cover-up outfits. They may as well have been in the uniform that I wore when I was in Christian school.
Everything is always very cut and dry.
Can't see that anybody has tits.
So even with Shiro's gay boyfriend in the past, it's they didn't do anything, They didn't make any coy jokes or anything.
They were just real good friends, TM.
Every bit of the show is lacking in any sort of charm. It's never flirtatious.
No.
Or it's just so weird.
The problem is, you're not progressive in showing Shiro getting gay married at the end of the story. If anything, it's regressive because you just boil him down to, P.S., he's gay.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. That had nothing to do with his personality.
Apparently, that was the most interesting quality
what
about
made him a hero.
That's what you get to see.
He just is gay.
He just is gay.
That's all he is. He's just gay. And it's
if you wanted to make a statement, why not have him have a boyfriend during the run of the show,
Yeah.
And then he can marry his boyfriend in the end.
Or
that could have been
a
cool moment. Maybe there was a male character who was on the ship and, during their final hours, they decide to get together, when it seems like everyone's gonna die. Have something interesting.
Here's the thing. Even if you didn't want to put Shiro in a relationship, there is a way you could have set that up, because at the beginning of the show, Shiro is a prisoner of war. So he could have had a boyfriend before he was taken captive, and then his boyfriend died or moved on or whatever.
Anything.
You could have had that in there.
They had a million opportunities to actually do that.
There's
with any
number
characters.
of places that you could have set that up.
They didn't develop anyone.
If it was really so important for Shiro to be gay, there is a way you could have incorporated that into the story.
It's just a fucking tragedy, man. Because the show has so many great ideas. It tries to say so many things, but it ultimately has no themes. It has no charm.
If you were to ask me, what is Voltron trying to teach you? I'd be like,
it's supposed
no
to be
clue.
Teamwork and family is the message, That's supposed to be the message. But it just doesn't deliver on that well at all.
Yeah, it just doesn't. It just feels like they saw the end of Adventure Time where PB and Marceline kiss, and they were like, we want to do it too! But we don't want any consequences! And it's like, with that in Adventure Time, it was a huge payoff from watching these characters grow and develop for 10 seasons, and they had interactions together, and they had a history together, and they grew, and you were like, wow, they've changed as people, and now, you know, even though they had their differences in the past, they've become better people, and they're working through it, and now they can be together, and it's a big, rewarding, emotional moment. And in here, it's just like, Shiro is gay.
And it was like a confirmation of something that you always kind of knew. You
Yeah.
know? Like, you could imagine that they were probably sleeping together and stuff throughout the course of the show. Like, they used to be in a relationship and then they were kind of broken up, you know? And
that's the whole point.
They could have been fucking. Like, you don't know. Like, they could have been making out in their closed door. She wears Marceline's shirt, you know?
Yeah.
Like...
The big shirt, I mean...
And then it's like, when they finally kiss, it's like, okay, they could have been doing this the whole time and we finally get to see it. Because they couldn't show it before. Like, it makes sense. It feels natural. It doesn't feel like that's the first time they've kissed when they do it, you know?
Right. Like I said, there is a history there.
Yeah, by the way, Shiro's gay.
A relationship backstory.
LOL.
P.S. Shiro married some black guy.
Here you go. Fan
That's
service.
his big accomplishment.
You all drew him gay on Tumblr, and here it is.
I think
Not
the
with
best
any of the
part,
characters you would have shipped him with or anything.
Yeah, I think the best part is that if you go and look up, like, Voltron on Twitter or whatever, you're not going to see fan art of anyone shipping Shiro with this no-name character that he married. It's all people shipping Shiro and Keith.
Yeah.
That's not going to change just because he canonically got married to a different dude. It's like, people are still going to ship Shiro and Keith. Why? Why?
It would
really make more sense for them to get together than Shiro and this random guy.
Yeah. I'm happy it's a show that ended, you know? I feel like this could be like the Teen Titans for this current generation, where it's like something that's really cool for
very influential
being 13,
for being
you know?
a 13-year-old. I'm not saying it shouldn't exist. I'm saying as an adult who's consumed enough media, it's not perfect.
It's just such a shame. So many great sci-fi concepts that could have been realized so much better.
Yeah. The part where, like, all the Bulmera come together and help them maintain the interdimensional rift.
The most complete American mech show that's ever happened.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, it died. Oh, too worked up trying to get through this shit.
Everybody wants to be a master.
Just a damn shame. Just a goddamn shame. I'm not sure if I should finish this mission and just make this a long episode. What else do we got?
I mean, Shiro's gay, so...
I mean, we could go on about Shiro being gay forever.
It's pretty good.
But it's just like a big circular argument there. It's like, you get it. It's dumb, you know?
It's pretty dumb.
You guys fucking get it. It's fake activism.
I keep hearing these weird thumps.
Pointless shit.
I'm fucking spooked.
Very disappointing. I couldn't recommend the show to anyone.
No.
At all. Maybe if you're 12, you know?
Yeah, as I say, like, if you were a kid, like, if you had a kid or whatever, or you were a child between the ages of, like, 8 and 13 or 14, then, like, sure.
It's like, as of season 2, definitely would have recommended. 3 or 4, maybe still would have recommended, because it still could have turned back around,
Well,
you
it's
know?
like what you said, the show... had its ups and downs up until the, part where Lotor is revealed to not actually be a character of any depth, like they originally portrayed him, and they're just like, oh, nope, never mind, he's just actually evil.
He's just real evil.
And it just never recovered after that point. Lotor was the last bastion of a cool villain in Voltron.
It was a show that could have gone on for 200 episodes, and, like, the concepts... They had enough ideas in the show that
there were so many ideas.
So long. It could have been so good, but, like, they clearly couldn't explore those ideas.
They just had to
deeply
haul ass
enough.
through every single one of them.
They just had to blow through all of their concepts because, like, they weren't going to be allowed to have 200 episodes of Voltron. And so all of them end up falling flat because it just didn't have enough time to really flesh anything out.
Yeah.
And it didn't have competent enough writing to really deliver on those ideas.
I mean, ultimately, it comes down to just not having enough strong characters and strong writing.
Yeah, because you could have accomplished all that in the amount of time they had with better writing.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, definitely.
It's just when so many scenes are expository and so many things just fall completely flat.
Realistically, how much different I think, was the runtime between that of Voltron and that of Adventure Time.
Not that much different, you know. 'Cause
Yeah.
Adventure Time's shorter episodes.
Yeah, Adventure Time is half the...
Yeah.
An episode is half that of Voltron. So even though technically there's a higher episode count, it's got to have about the same runtime.
Yeah.
Like, but Adventure Time accomplished so much more.
Because, like, they go into each episode knowing what they want to accomplish.
Yeah,
and, like,
it's
they don't
stronger
spread
writing,
themselves
stronger
thin.
characters.
Yeah. They don't cram every character into every episode and have them just say vapid bullshit to fill out the fucking dialogue.
Yeah. Each character has a purpose and a distinct set of traits and a personality.
I'd say it's a good thing to watch if you wanted to break down why a show can fail when having great concepts, you know?
Yeah.
Like how a show can go so south.
Yeah, I would
you-
say that's probably
yeah.
pretty fair.
If you wanted to explore that
Ooh.
that idea.
Fucking surprise.
Ah!
Ooh.
Bomb! She's good at killing those guys.
There's a very loud plane
There's a
overhead.
plane going on, yeah.
That's
Ah.
nice.
Bomb. Bomb. I don't want to fight you. Bomb. No!
You're doing great, buddy.
Well, some of this level.
I know. I'm proud of you.
He's gonna fight like this big guy. Whirr!
Hey,
It's bull.
you.
Bullshit. I'm glad we're getting through this game at a brisk pace.
Yeah. I
We
think.
still
I
have
hope
quite a
people.
bit to get through. Oh, fuck!
Uh oh.
Oh! Okay, I didn't die, thank God.
Okay. I'm hoping people find this a refreshing change of pace
Yeah.
from Breath of the Wild.
No! I was right there. Damn it.
Oof. Yeah. That's quite the
Definitely. Alright, let's just finish this
kickback.
mission.
We've been listening to a lot of the Ricada
Ricada
Law
Law.
shit while we've been playing Smash together. That's been
He's a lot of fun. Everyone should subscribe to Ricada Law. If
It's
you
a
want
good time.
a really kind of different kind of content.
I mean, it's educational, but it's entertaining,
Yeah.
I would say. You know?
If you want to get a really reasonable, normal guy's take on conservative stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he's definitely
He's very
conservative, definitely a
conservative.
Trump guy, but he's just a guy. Like,
Yeah.
he's not an extreme personality.
But he's
It
like
just-
smart,
yeah.
you know? He's educated. He's a fucking lawyer.
Yeah, he's extremely well educated because he is a lawyer.
He's
and
not
he's
just
obviously a
fucking
good
some
lawyer.
ding dong who doesn't
Yeah.
know what he's talking about.
He's a guy with a lot of integrity. He really sticks with, like, his ideas.
Yeah.
And, like, a man of integrity is the perfect way to put it. Like, he has his ideas of how the world should be and, like, how his job should be done, and, like, and he really sticks by that and is passionate about it, you know?
Yeah.
He's passionate about being a lawyer.
and he
like,
covers a lot of interesting topics.
yeah, he covers all the interesting topics. He can give his unique perspective on it. He won't misinform you, you know?
Right.
He's very...
It's
like,
very factual.
yeah,
you know, there's
very,
not a lot of bias in what he
set
says.
He won't... Like, he'll tell you when he's being speculative,
Right.
and he'll tell you when he doesn't know enough about a subject to
Yeah,
talk about
he'll
it.
straight up just be like, I don't know enough about this to tell
Yeah.
you, so let me do research and then I'll come back to it. And you're like, okay,
Uh-huh.
I mean, yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Or he'll be like, I'll bring in a specialist who actually does know about this because I don't fucking know what I'm talking about on this subject.
Yeah.
And then he'll give a lot of super spicy, hilarious
Oh
hot
my
takes,
God.
which are fucking awesome.
The further, the
Obama
more...
eats dogs!
The more
Obama
shit-faced
eats dogs!
he gets, the funnier it becomes.
Yes, he'll sit there and drink an
Yes.
entire bottle of sriracha vodka while ranting about the ACLU. It's
Gross.
fucking hilarious.
Yes, and then we ended up learning that Obama ate dogs.
Yes.
To be fair, it's because he ate dog as a child in Indonesia, which is like, yeah, that makes
Yes.
sense. It's not like he was in the United States picking up someone's dog out of their fucking lawn and eating it, you know?
Very fucking good. Very funny. Let's see, I gotta...
That being said, we
Very
also learned
kind.
that police like to shoot dogs.
Yeah. Oh, God,
That was
that's
fucked up.
disturbing. If you want to fucking feel very uncomfortable, you could watch this video on this policeman shooting a fucking dog.
Yeah.
Very disturbing.
Very glad I didn't actually see that video.
Yeah, you would have been very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Alright, we beat that level. I
We
think we're
did
done. I love this game so much, I just want to play the game, you know? I'm very glad we're having
Oh my
a
god,
great
so this
time.
video is an hour long.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I kind of figured. I figured that this would be like a Digi and May session where we just kind of sit down and play for a little while, you know?
Yeah.
I'm opening up to the idea of us doing that more, like just sitting down when we have topics so that we can talk about them freshly and then just putting out the episode.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it works for them.
It works for them.
Yeah. Sit down and just kind of enjoy your time. Man, which guy should we have? We have a dragon, we have the dog. I like the dog.
Dougie.
But we need the second dog for him to be really good.
Mm.
The dogs, there's 2 dogs and they're adorable and I love them.
Mm.
Let's see, this is the water one. It's a little dragon. Damn, we can't see the spirits in this menu.
Yeah.
Sucks, I want to see the spirit.
Show me the ancient
Okay, let's just put out
Japanese man
the main menu so
spirit.
we can see the spirit. Return to title screen. Yeah. I love that when you
Alright.
go to the title screen, it shows your little spirit guy, and it's super cool.
Let's see him.
Let's see him. Let's see him. Let's see him. Let's see him. Let's see him. Let's see him. Let's see him. Let's see him.
Oh!
Yeah,
He's like
look at the little
Mushu.
dragon. Yeah.
From Mulan.
Yeah, look at that guy.
He's a good boy. He's pretty
He's a
neat.
pretty cool boy.
Yeah. He's got
I like
little
him.
arms.
He's a water dragon. Alright.
He's like Rayquaza.
Yeah, that's it for this episode, boys.
Shiro's gay!